Hello and welcome. Silrace here with World of Tanks. So I have two games for you. Oh, two replays. Let's just clarify that right away again. These are being casted from replays, or I'm doing commentary on replays of my own play. Anyway, so both of these games are with this M2Y thingamajig, which at the time these were played, there was this top of the tree with this tank being in the top of the tree thing. So I was making my way through it also as a means of unlocking a little bit of a new line, which I was not at all familiar with, and also to kind of learn hold down tanks. Because I looked at the tanks and I was like, okay, well, that thing seems like it is sort of designed to play hull down. With hull down meaning that you hide the hull of the tank and you just try to, you know, pick your turret only above the things. And that seems to be the case. However, this thing has this massive weak point right on top of the turret, and these two games here, I kind of wanted to show them because they are basically my hull down practice games of like, okay, well, I got a map where I can kind of find myself in a position where I can mostly hide my hull and then play the turret only in view. And yes, that first shot was kind of bad and whatnot, but let's see if this is better. That was a little better. Now, this is not the sort of play I am most familiar with when it comes to heavy tank play from when I played like last. When I played before, many years ago when I probably played before. I mostly played the Soviet pike nose heavy tanks and such. I was much more familiar with the whole like stick the butt around the corner and absorb shots into the tracks and so forth. That sort of play, instead of playing around with guns or with tanks with really good gun depression and actually being able to play ridge lines like so. Here we are, actually playing one of those tanks. Now, this is not a tank I'm planning to keep. I'm not really enjoying it that much. Not precisely enjoying it that much and such. I will unlock the tier 8. I believe I unlocked the tier 8 just as the top of the tree ended. As in researched it, but didn't bother buying it yet or anything of the sort. This is where, if you're looking at minimap stuff, this is where I decide to go back. My usual stuff of like, well, the other side is basically losing and we have multiple people still here. So I'm gonna go around back at this point to try and help out the other side, ensure that I don't lose my own base. Yes, that's kind of surefire way to lose if you let the opponents to get in your base and just cap it out. But I'm still putting a few shots down this side while I am doing this movement, because apparently I'm not in any kind of rush, because the fight is still going fairly decently on the other side. And also when I'm being provided this sort of opportunities, hello there light tank in middle of nowhere. Here you go. I tried to do a tracking shot here. I don't frankly know the super chaffee well enough to figure out exactly where its front drive wheel is to hit that and also then track it, especially just purely out of its silhouette, that being the thing. I don't think super chaffee existed way back when I played the most. Didn't seem familiar anyway. Anyway, so with the north side now safe, just the, let's say, bigger version, the tier 8 version of this particular tank line managed to win the fight over there, I just decided to, well, I can just hang around here then. The north side is safe, I can just continue playing this ridgeline play here. Now, I would prefer to be back in the position I was already in, but since these folks are kind of providing me with vision, I am going to do support fire for them instead now. Now that was a bad shot, just purely a bad shot. I should have aimed it properly, and so on. Now what I should do at this point, actually, what I'm thinking on it, what I probably should do at this point is push forward and join the AMX-12 down there. Because it's very easy for these things to just push forward now and just, you know, overrun the AMX. Like so. And yeah, but last couple shots by me haven't been so great. I managed to keep this thing tracked, but there is no real support fire in place anymore. And this is where we get to the really interesting part, which is the proper hull down practice part of this thing now. Where I'm like, well, you're down there, I'm gonna shot off onto you. And then there is the SPG trying to shoot me and stuff. I try to get a shot on here. It doesn't quite work out the same. However, now I have multiple tanks right into my face. And I have to try to keep multiple of them in bay, or at bay rather, without any support fire. And this is the sort of situation which forces you to learn, forces you to practice, where it's like, well, now I have to actually know how to play this. Now I have to learn how to play this. And also at this time yet, I hadn't figured out, because I couldn't find... I don't think that's actually written anywhere in the game. I couldn't figure out that this tank actually repairs the tracks faster. And that was a nice rush shot by me. And now they all come in, because when one person decides to charge, how it generally goes in this game, people just hang back, and then one person decides that, okay, I'm just gonna go in now, and suddenly everybody goes like, oh, it looks like it's safe, let's just all go. But yeah, as I was saying, I had not figured out yet that this thing actually repairs the tracks faster if you are staying still instead of moving once the reserve track thing kicks in. I don't think that is written anywhere in the in-game UI that I have found, at least so far. Anyway, let's hop on to the next game. Here we are, game 2. This is another map which allows pretty good play of the hull down position. And I'm not going right away to the very hull down position, to the little bit of right from me. What I wanted to try and figure out is, can I play this sort of position? As in around here, and this exposes way too much of my hull, so I really can't play here. Ah, I can track that. And it can also shoot me back. Then we can put some more shells into it. But I'm gonna peek here again, just to stop it from, you know, coming in here. And if this big tank wants to play around, we can play around. That one is completely oblivious to me, and I completely just missed the shot. I should have aimed it fully, actually, because nothing else was threatening me. So I should have aimed it fully. This is where I realized that nobody is actually playing here. And so I'm like, okay, well, I guess I will play back here then, because I do have the gun depression to play these positions. And well, of course, I show a little bit too much of my tank over the ridgeline, and that's part of the learning process of, especially figuring out different tanks and such, of like, okay, how much can I show turret of this tank over the ridgeline? How much does it show and such? And I am essentially, if you're looking at it now, I'm kind of in a similar situation as I was at the end of the previous replay, where it's like multiple tanks at my front, essentially somewhat coming at me, although we are kind of pushing into them now, which seems a really bad idea because of the whole tank destroyers on the ridge behind. But that kind of plays of like identifying the moments I can push, or I should push, over the ridge as well, to get shots to the sides of turrets and so on. Those are the things that I really need to need a whole lot of practice and play on as well. And that's another like questionable decision of like, should I have gone for all the way over for the Emil shot instead of shooting the one charioteer which was almost at full health, because the whole, you know, remove guns from the battlefield being usually more important when you are trying to actually win, as opposed to dealing damage to a little bit of damage to everything. So that's one of those, like, should I have gone for the Emil shot? Because if I had, the Emil whatever might be dead at this very point in time, instead of being around with 41 health, 41 HP. I could be dead as well from all the return fire, and I've managed to absorb fairly good amount of shots into this turret. And right at this point I am absolutely a one-shot to most things, so I'm playing fairly conservative here. I am mostly trying to just keep an eye on things, maybe see occasional, and maybe get an occasional, like, essentially wait for the correct moment to push in and get those shots in. And that's part of, like, at least for me, for learning a certain playstyle, of identifying when are the situations you can actually make plays. And also, that is probably the hardest thing to learn, obviously, because it's very situation dependent, and you have to learn to read the situation. That being the thing, I suppose, that I need to work on the most. And even then, considering the game has randomness into it, just because you make essentially what is the correct decision, you can still absolutely get punished and lose because of it. But that's fine, that's fine. Identifying the correct play and doing it, even though it doesn't work out in the end, that's where the, you know, learning process and the practice comes in, and actually consciously thinking of, like, okay, is this the correct play? Is this the correct play? What should I be doing at this moment? And not necessarily just what should I be doing, but what could I be doing? What are the different options? Like here, I was going a little bit to the left because I realized the Emil is just, you know, looking into the specific direction. I was hoping to get the side of its turret and stuff. But instead I get the side of that thing, and a whole lot of assistance there at the end as well. Now, this turned into a victory overall, and I managed to kind of play the hull down fairly well. I have essentially absorbed more firepower into my tank than the whole health of my tank, which is kind of good. And I think I kind of effectively used my hit points as well. Here is a fairly rushed shot, but it actually hit and stuff. So there you have it. I got some damage in at the end as well, and so on. Not a really clean game, not an awesome game by any stretch of imagination. If you are looking at stuff like, ooh, must do at least 3000 damage or whatever, I don't care. This was a real, to me, these two replays were, or both of these games, which I'm now doing as replays, were really good practice for just, you know, playing the hull down game at a ridgeline of when can I peek, when should I peek, and when should I pull back and you know, just wait for the correct opportunity. Hopefully this was entertaining. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you learned things not to do. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you folks next time with more World of Tanks.